Welcome to Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. In this episode, we'll be listening to The Power of a Strong Membership Program, a session that was presented at Winter Institute 2026 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to the Power of a Strong Membership Program session, and I wanted to share a piece of information given to me at the front desk of the hotel, which I found very exciting, which is that the doorman who's been working here for 20 years said that we are the third nicest conference that they've ever hosted here.
Wait,
after number one, the furries who come here every year on 4th of July, and number two, the children who do the Rubik's Cube convention. So,
okay,
yeah.
We earned that. Come on,
yeah, something to be proud of. So. Yeah, it was a lovely thing to learn. But anyways, back to business. We have slides and handouts, and we will have surveys at the end of this, both paper and online through the app. So please fill out the survey and tell us how we did. They will post recordings of this on BookWeb. And when we're doing Q&A, please wait for the microphone so that in those recordings, your questions can be recorded. Please silence your cell phones, and again, wait for the microphone if you have questions. We'll have a Q&A session at the end of this. I'm going to read the antitrust guidelines, as you are well aware that I'm going to do. So we would love for you to share your ideas and support, but the Sherman Antitrust Act prohibits them from discussing price or pricing policies, boycotts, or dividing up the market. Great. And we would also really like to thank our sponsor, Ingram, without which this would be a different kind of conference, I think. So the goal of this session is we're really just going to share with you our membership programs, how they work for us, and how we've kind of designed them, and give you the sort of why of our program, and then talk to you about the tools that we use to implement those programs. And then we all have really different programs, and so I think that will be really helpful for you all in kind of determining which lane works best for you and how you might take some things from each of our programs to implement something for yourself or to make changes to the programs that you already have. And I wanted just to see who all already has a membership program. Yeah. And who all is hoping to implement a membership program. Okay, cool. So it's about 50-50. That's awesome. So I think this will be cool because we can give tools for people who already do have programs about things they might be able to improve or change. And then we can also give people ideas about how to get started. So first we'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll kind of go through store by store. My name is Breezy Mayo. I am the general manager and a partner at First Light Books in Austin, Texas.
My name is Kelly Justice, and I'm the owner of Fountain Bookstore in Richmond, Virginia.
My name is Kim Brock, and I am the adult book buyer at Joseph Best Booksellers in Cincinnati, Ohio.
My name is Emily Summer, and I am the adult book buyer at East City Bookshop in Washington, D.C.
Awesome. That's us. Emily, do you want to get started?
Yes. So as Breezy said, we all have very different membership programs, and I am starting us off because ours is, I think, the simplest. It is, as I heard someone say from the audience, well, we have a rewards program, and that is what our membership program is. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about East City Bookshop. So we are a general interest bookstore. We're located on Capitol Hill in DC. Yes, we are just a few blocks from the Capitol, the Supreme Court, the Library of Congress. But Capitol Hill is also a very vibrant residential neighborhood, lots of families. It actually feels very much like a small town in DC. So we are not just serving our political neighbors. Our membership program, the rewards program, is called the Indie Shopper program. And it is, as I said, super simple. It's free. Anyone who walks in the store can join. We take your name and your contact information, and you immediately start earning points toward a future store credit reward. That is how we designed it when we opened almost 10 years ago in 2016. And we did it that way for 3 reasons. First, we wanted to build our community as widely as possible. There was not an independent bookstore in our part of DC at the time. So we wanted to cast that net and have everybody feel like a part of the store. Number 2, we wanted to reward and thank our customers for shopping small and shopping local with us. And third, and maybe most importantly, we wanted to keep it very simple for the staff. At the time, we were all very new to book selling, and we wanted it to be really easy for both the customers and for us. So the way that it works, we ask each customer, are you a member of our Indie Shopper program? If they are not, we explain what it is. We take their name and their information directly into our point of sale system, and then their purchases gain points toward store credit. The premise and the reasoning behind our free Indie Shopper program has remained over the last 10 years, but the threshold for store credit and the mechanism when you can redeem those points has changed slightly. So when we started, we used Anthology, and we started it as a 5% reward. So if you spend $100, you get a $5 paper coupon. It was printed out with your receipt. We would cut it off. We would highlight it, circle the $5, hand it over and say, please treat this as cash, act like it's a $5 bill. You have to bring it back in order to redeem it, but it never expires. And we had varying levels of customer enthusiasm with that, because some people did not want to keep up with their $5 coupon, which I could not understand, because it is money. We are giving it to you. Treat it like a $5 bill, but that's okay. We got some pushback. So when in 2021 or 2022, we switched our point of sale system from Anthology to Book Manager, we took that opportunity to slightly change the threshold of the rewards, the membership program as well. It's still a 5% reward, but the threshold now is $250. So at $250, you have earned $12.50 in store credit, and it can continue to accumulate. With Book Manager, that now pops up automatically. So once they have achieved that threshold at checkout, before we take their payment, a box will pop up and it'll say, this customer has $12.50 in Indie Shopper rewards. Would they like to use it? So they can use it or they can save it. And we have some people who will save it for a specific purpose, really bank it up, which is fine. They have earned it, so they can use it how they would like to. Now, 10 years into East City Bookshop, we have over 45,000 Indie Shopper members in the system. And at this point, over 24,000 of them have some amount of credit on their account. And the redemptions, the amount that of store credit that they're using, can range anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 a month that we're giving back to them in rewards. So that's a lot, but it is a 5% reward, and it is still less than 5% of our sales. So they're not using the full 5% that we're giving out. And we use the info, the name and the sales histories that we're collecting to get to know our customers. I just realized I did not start my timer. To invite the top customers to special events. During the holidays, we have a Books and Bevs night, which is special after hours shopping with refreshments. We send out special invitations to our top customers for those. In the past, we've sent custom letterpress invitations and thank you notes to our Indie Shopper members. And we use their sales history for recommendations. Of course, we're careful about privacy, but you all know you get repeat customers now that we have their sales history. I can look back and see, did I already recommend Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead to them? Did I already recommend this mystery for their mom? So we use it only for that purpose. I think our customers like it because they like being known and feeling a part of the store. They also like the pleasant surprise of that reward popping up. So some people keep very close track. They know that it's a $250 threshold and they are monitoring and they know when they're going to get it. A lot of people have no idea what the threshold is. I think because the barrier to entry is so low and it's free. They have no idea when they're going to get it or that it's coming. And then it pops up and we've made their day. It becomes very exciting on a Saturday if we have several customers in a row whose indie shopper points pop up. Then other people in line are like, I want to join your program. I want to be a member of your store. You're giving people free money. What we like about it is first the simplicity. So I asked my coworkers, what do you like best about the membership program? And they said, I like being able to explain it so simply and that there's nothing for us to keep track of. We do no work to monitor it. It's self-running. 2, I really like personally taking everybody's name. I like knowing everybody's name. That way we get to know our customers, not just the really chatty ones that we're going to get to know anyway. Every interaction means we get to know them a little bit better. And hopefully our program helps us learn more about them and helps them feel the appreciation that they've chosen to shop for us, because that is why we set it up that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great.
So as I said, I'm Kim. I'm with Joseph Beth in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have 2 stores. The first store we opened up is in Lexington, Kentucky, and that opened in 1986. And then the store in Cincinnati opened up in 1993. Our membership program is called Gives Back. It's sort of membership / rewards. And it's called Gives Back because a portion of everything that each customer spends, when they sign up, they get to pick one of our community partners, and we donate a portion of all their sales in the year to their charity. And accounting takes care of all of that. Not me. In Cincinnati, we have about 6 community partners. It's the Cincinnati Zoo, our local NPR station, another public radio station, Queen City Book Bank, which used to be the Literacy Foundation, but now they've expanded to do things with children's literacy, but they also still have an adult literacy program to help adults learn to read and things like that. And I'm missing one more. It'll come to me. And in Lexington, it's the Humane Society. Thank you. It's the Humane Society, a teen like foster care agency, and 2 other. It'll come to me. Ask me later. But it's a paid program. It's a yearly fee, and there's 2 levels. The first level is $10, and the second level is $25. The major difference between the 2 is at the $25 level, when you sign up, we instantly give you a $25 coupon to our restaurant, and you get to use that, and you have a whole year to use that. And with that, when you earn points in the restaurant too. So similar to Emily's program, when you spend $200 in our store or in the restaurant, you get a $10 off coupon in both stores. And it just spits out at the register. Unlike Emily, we're making them be responsible. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. They need to be responsible. We tell them to treat it like a $10 bill, and you wouldn't throw away a $10 bill, so don't throw away the coupon. We circle it, we highlight it, we do all sorts of things with it. And a lot of our customers just keep them because they never ever expire, and they'll let them stack up till the end of the year, and that's how they do their holiday shopping, which we're like, it's your money. You do it, however you want to do it. Also with it, in both programs, you get 30% off of bestsellers, 20% off of staff picks. When we're going to reactivate our Book of the Month program, and they'll get 20% off of that book. And then twice a year, we do something called VIP night. And we close our stores early at about 6, and then we reopen at 7, and only Gives Back members get to come in. Everything that night in the store is 20% off. We always have like some giveaway. Like if you spend $100, you get this fancy tote bag or a book or something. We have music, there's drinks, there's food. One year we did a raffle with the Paul McCartney book that Norton did that was super fancy. So every year it's something different, and we do it in the spring, and we do it like around November, late October. So like to get people into the holiday shopping. And the reason why we did our program is because we wanted a way to connect more with the community. And it's nice that people get to pick who they want to support. And for some people, they keep the same person. Other people, they change it up every year because they want to spread the wealth around. And I think last count I saw, since the program started, we've probably given away almost $200,000 to all those programs. So thank you. So it's very important for us that we do that. Children's Hospital. That's who's in Cincinnati. Sorry, it just came to me. So yeah. Let you go next.
I also want to say, if you've ever been to the Joseph Beth in Cincinnati, the signage is everywhere. I mean, it is everywhere. And that's something that at Fountain we need to work on. We opened in 1978, and we're all new books and gifts, and we're an event-centric bookstore. We started selling With Friends memberships January of last year, gearing up for our expansion, which happened in July. And previously, we had a loosely structured program where we just said, just give us your name, no email, no anything else, no data. And for every $200 you spend, you get $10 back. So we were very shy about it. I think, and we're still kind of shy about it, about promoting our program, which is something we really need to work on. But the good news is With Friends sort of promotes it for you without any sort of it's just constantly there trying to remind the customers to join. Why did we do memberships? We were trying to solve two problems. One, we wanted to increase bookseller compensation. We were looking for solutions without trying to bring in we brought in the highest margin items we could, and it just still not working. And we also wanted to create community through memberships and customer recognition and events. And it was really important that, when Jeff sells you a membership, it's a transaction, right? So it's $189 or whatever it is to be an Amazon Prime member, and you get discounts and you get whatever. So there's a reason I'm bringing this up. It's a transactional relationship. There's no community building there. It is purely money. There's not, you don't feel like, oh God, I feel like I'm a part of Amazon now. It's so awesome. You feel like, oh, I don't get anything if I don't cough up this cash. So that's the opposite of what we're trying to do. And Kunal, who's sitting right there, so, hey, Kunal, that's really important. We share values about this, that a membership program should not just be about money. It should be about creating community, just like the other programs we talked about today. So we use With Friends because I like sourcing to third parties and not building things myself. When somebody's done it better, I don't feel like creating something from scratch. We use Book Manager, but With Friends works with any POS system. It integrates with most. It also works separate from. If it doesn't integrate, it works alongside. We also use it for our events platform, so it works seamlessly with that. Our ticketing system is good for that. I'm not going to go through all the benefits of our membership programs because they're listed online, and there's 4 levels. But in general, each one builds on the one before. And so, we're in there. Okay. Tier 1, which is free, which is the same as the old program. You don't get anything except now you get a free newsletter. Aren't you excited? We take your email. And tiers 2 and 3 are the paid. So there's the $5 membership where, tragically you don't really get anything except feeling good. We need to do a little bit more for those members. But there's a whole lot of them. They want to be part of the community. They do get advance notice of different of events that are coming up. They get invited to parties, but they don't get any discounts beyond what the free members get. And actually, they really don't get much of anything. So I'm shocked that there's as many of them as there are. So tier 3 is our most popular tier. Fountain Fanatics. When you become a Fountain Fanatic, no matter what time of year it is, like last year we did these cute little buttons that say I'm a Fountain Fanatic. This year, like keychains, bigger, more people can see them, and maybe you take your keys with you everywhere, every day, don't you? Right? So I like these things. They have to cost under $2. I like something when you give a coffee mug stays at home, where maybe 3 people see it and your cat, and so this goes everywhere. It could be and I have one left to give away if somebody wants it. I also have matches if you want to set something on fire later. I'm sorry. This is the way. Imagine what it's like to work with me, or be in my family. Let's see. So we've got a whole bunch of members at that level. And the Fountain Freak I threw in. I was like, nobody's going to do this. $100 a month. You get to throw a party in the store. You get 20% off. The Fanatics get 10% off. They don't get the $10 off. They immediately. And they get a free ARC, which is the most popular thing about the whole program. And the freaks get a whole lot more. It's $100 a month. And the first one signed up. Her name was Maddie Day, and I was like, wow, whoa, we got one. I guess we have to. That special merch we promised. I guess we better find it real fast.
Gotta put in order.
Yeah, and but With Friends actually handles that for you too. So and now we have 5. So we have 5 freaks. They pay, so that's $1,200 a year each one of them. And I'm pissed off. I don't have a $500 level, but I can solve that. I can do that tomorrow. I can do it actually later this afternoon if Kunal and I have a conversation. So how? We do have an event problem with being a little bit shy about the program. Like I said before, there's a steady stream of passive joiners. How am I doing on time? Okay. There's a 41% come in through the floating badge. You can see there's a badge. Oh, by the way, everybody read Eradication. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Well, I can understand that. So this floating badge sits on every single page of our website, become a member, and it takes you to a pop-up that gives you the levels of membership, and you can check each one of them out, join right there. 41% of our join-ups come from that floating badge. 15% come from our ticket upsells. You know what else I love about this program? Data. You know, I trust but verify. You know, I trusted it was working, but I know how it's working and how much is working, and I can tweak it and do different things. So, and because somebody's going to ask this, the ticketing platform is very much the same fees as Eventbrite. We don't pay the fees, the customers do. And 11% of people sign up in the store. We've run 3 campaigns, which are also auto-built into With Friends, where you are like, we're having a membership drive campaign, just like PBS used to or whatever. And they've accounted for 50% of our signups, and they join at higher tiers, and that accounts for 70% of revenue. I'm not sure what that means. I knew what it meant when I wrote it down. And I don't know what this figure means either, so I'm going to skip it, okay? But there's more data. So I am just learning a lot of this data myself. This is why it is a great idea to volunteer to be on a panel. Because you can examine your own systems. So these are 2 examples of what people see when they come in. They when they check out at this event, the Gilmore Girls trivia event. They see me and Andy, talking about how awesome the membership program is and where the money goes. It's a little video, and that automatically uploads as well. And you have to do the video, which is, there's a great blooper reel on our Instagram of the last one we did where you can see me making even more of a mess than I am right now. So, With Friends sends us an action list daily of what we're supposed to do, check off who's supposed to get their keychain, who's supposed to get their ARC, et cetera, and so forth. And the numbers do not lie. We examined, Kunal and I sat down and examined the most conservative figure that we could come up with, which was after people join at the $20 level, they're spending at least the $20 and $100 level, they're spending at least 30% more. I will tell you, our Fountain Freaks are spending way more than that after they join. They become so ingrained in the store, but it's not just about that. It's about the community that it builds. I'm going to go over by about 30 seconds. I'm sorry. So we have these AM reading socials for the top 2 tiers only, and they get invited and they come and they hang out. We usually have some sort of activity for them, and they won't leave. They feel such a part of this thing that, I was closing up the shop. They're throwing them out the door. Like, you guys have to go away. And I shut the door, locked the door, went in the back, did some stuff, came out. They were still on the sidewalk planning their next book club. And they said, it said to repeat. I'm not going to repeat that. So it's shown they really feel special. They get to go back in the galley room and they pick up their galley. I mean, they're excited, and the margin is like 60%. So it takes between 30 to 40% to run the program. But you're now carrying an item, that you don't have to stock in inventory, that you sell, and the margin that's with discount. It's huge. So. It has resulted in a 15% increase in bookseller compensation for the year, because I dedicate 100% of the With Friends After Cost to bookseller compensation. That may change if we get up to, more than 10,000 a year. But that's an example of Fountain Freak merchandise on our friend Julie, who's also an author. And anyway, all this data, I'm not afraid to show my numbers. All this data is available for you to see in your own accounts. And that was the appeal for me for a more structured program. And just, if you can imagine being able to quarterly give your staff 2 weeks additional pay, I mean, that, and the joy that it brings to my customers, I really like this program. So that's it. That's what I got.
Okay. And again, I'm Breezy with First Light Books. We're a general selection bookstore as well. Okay. Sorry. We opened in August of 2023, so we're coming up on 3 years. And we're located in central Austin. And we are just north of the University of Texas. We're in kind of a historic neighborhood. It's very walkable there. There's a bus line that goes to the university, so there's a lot of students who live nearby. There are a lot of families, and it's pretty multi-generational, and it's in an old post office. So a post office closed, and it was kind of a civic hub, and part of our idea for opening it was to sort of try to preserve that and maintain that in the neighborhood in some way. So we have a cafe, a coffee shop that serves coffee and beer and wine and food. And that is a central piece of our business model as well. It kind of is a coffee shop and cafe in its own right outside of the bookstore. And we have a walk-up coffee window, which you can see that's to the right of the door there. That window opens at 7:00 every morning, and the cafe is outside set with tables. So, and then the bookshop opens at 9. So oftentimes the courtyard is filled, and it's really exciting to see people waiting in line to come inside the bookshop at 9:00. It blows my mind all the time when that happens. So I think one of the things before we opened is we knew we really wanted to have a membership program as a part of our business model. And we really wanted the cafe and the bookstore to feel really connected to each other. And it's kind of like, how do you get somebody to come to a bookstore every single day was sort of our thinking with that. And the cafe was a central and core component of that. And selling memberships was a way that we found to kind of get people to really embed and tie themselves to our community. So I think when people they decide, yes, I want to buy this membership. They're saying I want to be here every day. I want to come here with my family. I want to bring my friends here when they come to town. And they feel really proud of it and part of it. And that's a really core piece of how I think we've been able to build this. Our membership program is called First Light Years. It's an annual program. It's $99 a year. And you get 20% off all the books that you buy in store and online. And you also get free drip coffee every time you come to the shop. So we, full disclosure, kind of just guessed when we chose that before we opened. But I think people really, really respond to that. We have 1,600 active members and they kind of are active in different levels. But some people we have who buy the membership because they want the free drip coffee, and they come every day, and they really like, it's like if you get 3 coffees a month, then your membership will pay for itself, or if you buy 1 or 2 hardcovers every month, your membership, the discounts. So there are people who are really kind of like trying to find the way to make the value with the discounts. And then there are people who just want to support what we're doing and be a part of that community and support us in that way. And so we do have, we kind of analyzed our data, and we do have we like super members who are like really getting a lot, like, from they're getting more in discounts than they're paying in a year. And we kind of just like made the bet that would kind of even out and be worth it. And for me, it's kind of like, if you want to spend $99 a year to support us, because that sort of guaranteed membership income is like a really important part of stability for us, like so that we can know in a leaner season that we've got this money to rely on, and that we can use that money to put on programming and do events, and that we can pay, like an above market rate for our booksellers hourly, and we have set a priority to have a lot of growth paths for people. So we have a number of salaried managers that's kind of like outsized for the size of our store, because that's a really important part of development for us. And I think that this program is something that really supports the possibility of that being kind of tenable for us. We added in a new tier this year called the patron tier, which it was basically that there are a number of people in our community who are just like, if it was more expensive, I would pay it just because I love you guys. And so we were like, okay. And that allows us to throw a party every year that's for all of the writers in Austin, which is really fun. We did it for the first time this year, and the patrons get to come. So it's really like, we kind of thought it was going to be like so many patrons and just a few writers, but it was really just mostly writers, and they felt, I think, like treated really well. And it was just like free food and drink. And it was just like really exciting moment with a reading in the store. And I think that kind of like support that we get from those patrons allows for us to do those kinds of things in the shop and just like make people feel really special and treat them well. And so those are kind of the extra benefits that we get from that. Before we opened, we sold like different kinds of memberships as well that we closed. It was getting kind of like confusing, and we sold a 5-year, a 10-year, and a lifetime membership before we opened, and those people are kind of like our ride or dies a little bit, which is really awesome. But one of the things that happened after we opened was that we were having a little bit of difficulty figuring out how to like map everything. So I'm going to go into that in a minute. But when you buy your membership, we use Booklog as our point of sale system. And so our members get this little branded key fob that ties directly to their customer profile. And that customer profile automatically applies the 20% discount to the category of books in our point of sale system. And when you join, you get that key fob. You get a bookmark that has a QR code to a survey. That's like, what do you like to read? Why'd you join? Who are you? What's your family like? Like those kinds of things. And then we use that survey to create tags in our MailChimp so that we can then email people with special events or books that are coming out that are kind of like tailored to their interests. And we also design a new tote bag every year for our members. And we have this piece of merch that's only available to the members. So the yellow one in the middle is the one from before our first year. The orange one is year 2, and then the green one is our current membership year. And it's kind of like there's this like spring-fed pool in Austin called Barton Springs. And before we opened, I saw somebody with the yellow tote bag, and I started crying because it's like this like sign of this person who's like, I like want to be a part of what you have, And it's become this kind of cool thing in the neighborhood. Like my daughter is in daycare, and one of the family's daycare bag is their First Light bag. And it's just like this sort of moment where you see it, or like some of our members only carry their yellow one to show that they've like been there since the beginning. And I think it's this like way to signal that you're a part of something together. And so that's been kind of like a fun piece. And every year we do a membership campaign because we have an annual block party. And we have bands play, and it's really just like for fun. We close our parking lot and we get a permit, and we have bands and we have readings, and we have like food and beverage, and it's kind of like a baby South by Southwest, like when it used to be like different. It's like our kind of nod to those old days. But that's kind of the end of our membership campaign. So we roll out the new merch and we kind of run through that in the campaign. And I think that it kind of feels like a fun little piece to get to have for them. And so the costs of that, we try to keep under like $10 or so for every membership, just because I think that piece is like also a marketing expense a little bit. And that's kind of how we think about it. Yes, so we have a lot of tools that we use to maintain our membership systems. And we have an operations manager who's like a nerdy little angel, and he made me this map to show how our membership program works, which I am going to have the ABA upload to the slides if you want to see it. It wasn't really translating. The text is really small, but it kind of shows the way from purchase through, and how we use a program called Zapier, which is like, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but it like automates. So it's like when someone fills out, when we add a member in our Airtable base, then it zaps to MailChimp and adds the tags. And it also, we use a program called Fillout, which integrates with Stripe as the payment processor, and they fill out their information, and that is how they join. They give their payment information, and we switched to Fillout so that it would be like a recurring subscription. And that kind of moves to Airtable, which then moves to MailChimp. So we've tried to build these systems that kind of like connect everything together, because when we first started, everything was feeling a little bit like disparate and disconnected. And so I think when you're thinking about creating a membership program, thinking about how to keep the data as clean as you can so that you can like actually have tools to communicate with people and actually use the information that people are giving you. That's been one of the problems is people fill out a survey and we were like, thanks. And then like no one looked at it, and we were like, we've got to do something with this information. Like people want to share this with you because they want to stay connected and they want to support you, and you've got to give them the opportunities to do that. So I think our bigger things is like figuring out what you need your membership program to do and why, and figuring out what the people in your community want from a membership program at your bookstore. So kind of determining like the kinds of members that you might have, and then trying to figure out how to create programs that support those like needs and interests, I think is our bigger one. And as you can see, there's a lot of different ways to do it. So the biggest thing that's been so like buoying and generative for me, and I think for all of us, is that the membership program like offers like a really tangible channel to stay super connected to the people who care about you and your store and what you do. And it's a really like great opportunity to maintain those connections and establish bonds that create customers who like want to support you and find ways to participate in what you're doing and building, and giving them that opportunity like means a lot to them as well. And communicating that effectively is a way to keep them really engaged with you and what you're doing.
Questions?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It's questions time.
Hi, I have two questions for you. So first, if you are willing to share, and I'm sure I could Google this, can you tell us how much you pay for with friends monthly or annually, and also for anyone else that also uses external programs for your membership, like what those costs look like? Because I'm a pretty small bookstore right now, so I need to kind of budget what I would need for that.
Well, please correct me if I'm wrong, but With Friends is free for ABA members. There's no monthly fee. And so what you're paying for is taken out with each transaction. So you're not, and it's roughly 30%. So the way I explain it is if you got an item of, it's 35%. So it's maybe a little bit, yeah, it's right in that. Is that right? That's including the estimated cost of the merch and the discount that you're giving people. So it's. We charge 20% for memberships and 10%. Kunal is saying we charge 20% for memberships, and then you've got your as much as you want to put into this, and however much you want to discount. I do recommend. I do believe that you have tools that show how much discount is going to affect your margin. And you can kind of just plug them in and see how much you're comfortable with. See, I don't like giving big discounts. You know what I mean? Because I think people are willing to pay for, if they would be shopping somewhere else if discounts was their thing, right? So if they're paying $20 a month, getting a free ARC, they're only getting a 10% discount. They're no longer getting the reward at $200. They're there because, well, first of all, the ARC is worth about $20, and we do stamp them, so not for sale. So we hope they don't end up blind. But I don't think so few people come in and this is a different question, but so people come in and buy, just get their ARC. They get their ARC and they buy 3 more books. So but to your question, there's at least with Friends. It's only income. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no cost unless somebody buys a membership.
Cool. And then I have one more question. My membership program at my store right now is free, and we do the 5% discount. But I have a lot of customers that spend a ton of money at the store monthly, annually, whatever. Like we're talking multiple thousands of dollars, which I never expected, first of all. So I was kind of trying to figure out a way where I could reward them. And I'm wondering if it would be a good idea to offer the quote unquote paid tier of the membership as if you spend this amount of money, then you automatically get this rather than you pay for that cost up front. Do you have any thoughts on that?
First, I'd see if they're willing to pay before I offer it for free.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah, because like Kelly was saying, people want to belong, and often they'll pay to belong, and especially if you're giving them their keychain, their bookmark, their bag that shows that they're a member and you're not, that sort of thing. They'll pay for it.
I mean, you are already rewarding them with the 5% back, so they're getting their reward.
Yeah.
I had a question. I heard Breezy talk about the membership for online customers. I was curious if any of you had thought about online customers or if this is all in-store programs.
Mine works across all of it.
Same with ours. It works online as well.
Online shoppers are added to the membership.
Is it me? Okay. So actually the question about, or your response about the question about asking folks to pay and or rewarding them is at the core of my question, because this sounds great. I'm fully going to do this. And when you create an in-group, you create an out-group. Mm-hmm. And so that's my concern, is that my store, fundamentally, I say that building community is our purpose and selling books is how we pay for that, basically, right? So that makes me nervous. Mm-hmm. How have you grappled with what it does to folks who aren't members, and in particular, since we're charging for membership, folks who aren't able to or aren't willing to or want to prioritize spending their money that way, and equity issues and so on. So I'd love to hear about how anybody handles that.
So we
Go ahead.
Okay. So we did 2 tiers for that very reason, because at first it was just $25 for the year, and some people were not, throwing $25 extra onto a purchase is a lot to be asking for a lot. So we did a $10, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, $10, I can do that." And as far as the out group, most people are okay with it because they still come and support. They're just like, it's just not our thing. We're okay. We can still come and do this. We have had people upset about the party. They're like, well, I come and shop every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we explain it's a perk of the membership. And we do get some people like, all right, fine. Then put me down for the $10 level. Like they'll just join like, all right, I'll do it because I want to come. But for the most part, most people are just kind of like, okay, it's just not my thing, but I can still support you without this extra cost, basically. So
Right.
It's been okay.
Well, we have, we do have the free membership, but we also tell people in November, it's like, just join for December. Join for December. You get 20% off the holiday party. You get to come to the holiday party. You get your free ARC. Join 1 month. We hear you. Or join at the free. There's still some benefits at the free membership level, but because you can stop your membership at any time, people who are, price sensitive, they can get like all they want in December and then immediately get out.
Since I still have a microphone, I'll ask one very tiny question, and that's just who had with friends. Kelly, you said something about how the when you upsell membership on your tickets, and it sounded like maybe you were saying that With Friends handles your ticket sales as well. Is that
That's
right?
correct.
Oh.
We use them instead of, if you look on the front page of our website, our events are listed. It's actually a With Friends coded block, and you just click in there and you buy your ticket. And then at the end it says, hey, you could get this ticket for 10% off if you were a member, or I forget what the wording is. And it gives you an opportunity then. So especially with these like giant events where we're getting people that have never heard of our store before are coming for the author, we get a lot of memberships through that who people are like, oh, I love this event. Maybe I'll join for a little while and see what that's like. And then, we have them and it's like, come, we give you great big hugs. Come. That's how, yeah.
Okay, sorry. So for East City Books, this is sort of just a general question. When you said that you invite the top customers to Books and Bevs and special events, extra things, what qualifies a best customer for you?
So I don't know what the spending threshold was this year for the invitation. The party, the Books and Bevs was open to everybody. So it was not exclusively to the top customers, but they just got the special reach out to, and maybe we did a series of Books and Bevs. Maybe the first one was dedicated to those people. We ran a report, and I can't remember if it was the top 100. Laurie, do you remember? Yeah, it was an amount spent, but that is just sort of, we could see how many people were. And we also went back through it and added in people that we knew were very loyal customers, like our book club leaders, people who bring their dog in every day, like people that we know. So it wasn't exclusively price-based or spending based. That was just sort of the jumping off point. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I run the Spine Bookshop in Smyrna, Tennessee, and I have 2 very specific questions. One for Emily.
Emily. Yes.
Emily, and then Kim. So, Emily, on your sales history, where you say that you invite the top customers, how do you keep track of who spends what and how they're the top You know what I mean? Like, how do you determine what your top customers are?
Like, how do we make the judgment of what spending limit?
Yeah.
I think it's just every time we do something like we send out custom Valentines, and I think we thought we can afford 500 custom Valentines, and so we'll just run a report and anthology and see who are the top 500 spenders.
Okay.
It was something of that nature. So we just whatever the special thing we want to do is, we decide here's how many we can do, and then we'll tweak it as
Okay.
needed. So it's been different for every special thing. But we just run a report in the point
Okay.
of sale system at whatever, and then see how many people it is and be like, oh, we could add some more.
Sure.
We'll lower the limit.
Okay. And then Kim, for you, I do advocacy stuff as well. And when you're talking about the portion of sales, sorry, I'm really loud. I apologize. When you're talking about the portion of sales, how do you figure out how much goes to whatever charity that you're doing, and how do you determine how to give it to them? And is that a charity that, is it a charity that you run, or is it a charity that you partner with?
No, so it's just straight from each customer. When they sign up, they pick their community partner. And so Celerant, our POS, just tracks each customer's spending and it links it to that charity. And so at the end of the year, a county knows to look, okay, how many customers pick Children's Hospital? How many customers pick the Humane Society? And then they total all that up, and they have their magic formula number, and they have the amount that they send to each one at the end. In every December, they send those checks out every year.
You don't actually pay that until December.
Right, because it's based on your yearly spending.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Yes.
Hi. Sorry, right here. We have a $25 annual membership, and this has been really helpful for like ideas for what we could provide, because right now we only just have a couple of perks. But my question is, for those who have annual memberships, how do you handle like the renewal? Because sometimes, the way we have it, it's just the expiration date is like in their notes on their customer field, and it's up to us to notice that their membership expired and then go, would you like to renew your member? It becomes a little bit more of a hassle sometimes. People who've even been members the entire time we've had this program are like, oh, wait, what's the membership again? It's so how do you guys handle that? Do you do just the membership program starts over on the first of the year, and how do you guys handle that kind of renewal?
We automate. So we have in our Airtable, which is just like a really insane sort of spreadsheet, wonderful.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a truly wild tool. But we have an expiration date for the members based on, so they purchase a membership through Fill Out, that program. It immediately fills that information in on Airtable. Based on the purchase date, it automatically sets in Airtable what their expiration date would be. And then that triggers that when that date happens, we run an automation that triggers an email to go out to them in MailChimp, which lets them know that they are set to expire and how to like deactivate the renewal if they would like to stop. And then when they do renew, that starts the whole system over again. So this is happening like every single day in the background. So these renewals hopefully are happening. And then we use Booklog in the store, and the Booklog will system, when you pull up their customer, has a feature that will pop up and say, hey, your membership is expiring in X number of days, and you can set the threshold for that. So you can catch them in store as well. So that's kind of the system that we've used to try to keep it like constantly running, rather than us having to like once a month or once a week run expiration dates and send out custom emails. So it's a little bit more work on the front end to like come up with all of these emails and all of these like what if scenarios. But it has been really useful, and I think saved us a lot of time in the long run.
And if someone wants to sign up for the membership in store, do you fill out for them, or?
They fill it out themselves. We have an iPad that we like hand them at the register that has fill out on it. And so they put that information in themselves.
Thank you.
Ours automatically renews monthly. I mean, the credit card information is securely stored in Stripe. And so it just auto renews, whether it's monthly, yearly, what have you, unless they opt out.
Okay, thank you.
And ours is just built into our POS, and it has like a little feature where when it's close to a month before, it has the membership date in red, so it like pops up. And so the booksellers in their training are like, hey, your membership expires in a month, and it keeps that conversation going between them. And then the month it expires, they say, same thing. And it's from the date they sign up. That's their membership date. So
Right.
similar to like Breezy. It's just constant. Whenever your date is, that's when it comes up. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And ours, you're in forever. You can never leave. Like the Hotel California.
Hi, I'm up here just so you can see. For those with membership perks that involve access to events, do you run into any issues where you have more members that have eligibility for an event than capacity for that event? And how do you communicate that you may have this perk, but for this event, you may not actually get in?
I cannot wait for that day to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. If that happened, I think that I would send it out. It's like, are you actually going to come to this or not? You know, because we got seat problem. I would just get a bigger venue. That's what I would do. Yeah, bigger venue.
We've had that a couple of times where we've had events in store and we give the members a heads up, but we kind of preface it by saying like spots are limited. Okay. But I don't really like to do that very often because I want like everybody to be able to come to an event. So a lot of times, maybe once a year at a really big venue, we'll let members know one day in advance about something. But that one is something that we try not to do very often, just because I think it like can feel a little unfair. So,
yeah. For our members, it only counts for ticketed events or book equal ticket events, and they get something called a VIP ticket. It's the same price and everything. Mm-hmm. You just get to be the first people in line, basically.
For a signing.
Yeah, for a signing. Yeah, for a signing. Yeah. And everyone knows it's limited. There's only so many people in each group, and our customers, they get an email and lets them know that, and it's just kind of first come first serve. And luckily, we haven't had anyone over the years where it's like there's one person that all the members want to see. Like it's varied enough where we're kind of okay. But they're still told like, it's first come, first serve, limited tickets, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I'm thinking of the Bruce Springsteen event, but that was a whole nother thing. People were losing their minds about it. I mean, yeah, but it's like, again, there's only so many tickets. You know this. If you drag your feet.
Yeah. And I think we probably have time for one more question, but I think we'll probably hang out for a little while to answer your questions if we haven't gotten to you, just so you know.
I just had actually a quick question. Do you find sensitivity about information, either like for us, when we have a free membership program like Emily's, people, the main reason when they don't want to join is because I don't want you to have my information. I don't trust that you're not going to send me emails. Or we also don't keep track of what people bought. We keep track of how much they spent, but not what they bought because there's some sensitivity. Have you guys run into that in terms of customers being sensitive of, I want to be part of this, but I don't want you to have certain information?
We definitely have people who say no to us because they're like, no, I've signed up to too many things. Mm-hmm. We have people who are like, I don't want any emails, so I'll give you my phone number instead. Totally fine. Yep. Or vice versa. I don't want any texts. We tell them we only use your phone number if you agree for us to text you about picking up a special order. But yeah, we've had people, but it's not very many. And we have one customer that I know of who joined under a pseudonym, and he's Bruce Wayne. And sure, we don't check ID, so it's fine. You give me your pseudonym. That's it.
We say up front, we don't sell your information. We only use it for us. It doesn't go to anybody else. But again, there are some people like, well, can I just give you a phone number, or can I give you this email that I only use for newsletters and things like that? We're like, sure, whatever works for you. But there are some people who don't want to give anything. But as long as we have a name and we can keep track and make sure that you get your rewards, we're like, okay, it's not a big deal.
And I find that because our membership is a paid membership, they're like wanting to be connected to the store. So they're kind of like willing to be communicated with. But because we use MailChimp, they can also unsubscribe pretty easily. Mm-hmm. And we know that they don't want to be contacted. And so it kind of does that for you automatically. And then we don't we call only for special orders. We don't text. And so they are agreeing, if they're placing a special order, we take their telephone number and their email address so that we can communicate that with them. So I feel like they kind of know the sort of what they're in for, and they're like willing to do that. But we don't have a free program, so it's a little bit different for us. But occasionally they don't want to give us their email, and that's okay with us too.
And in terms of sales history,
that's like-
I will say people are very relieved often that they can look up and see, what did I already give this person this baby gift, or what did I give my mother last year for Christmas? They appreciate that we're using it to just make more tailored recommendations, and we have not had anybody express any interest. We have not had anyone try to use it for nefarious purposes that I've ever heard. We certainly wouldn't give out that information to other people, but we get a lot of, "Oh, I'm so glad you can look this up for me." And people really appreciate that history for themselves, actually.
Yeah.
We've
with
had
friends. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, with friends allows also for like a one-time donation without joining, and I'm shocked at how many people just, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to this event. I'm buying a book, and here's $10," and we don't have their information. So.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Please fill out a survey, and we'll be here answering questions. I've got this teeny little map if you want to see it, and a few examples of our membership-related merch if you want to take a look.
Thank you for listening to Booked, the bookstore education podcast brought to you by the American Booksellers Association. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app. Additional educational resources can always be found on the ABA site at www.bookweb.org. Happy reading!